Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my ReCore walkthrough. This is mission 10. We are breakthrough and shifting sands. So the area that you're in right... Oh, do you see that just then? That was an example of not having the correct buddy on, so I couldn't attach to it. And it nearly cost me, but it wasn't too bad. There's going to be an awkward transition coming up because I died on this next set of enemies. This next set of enemies are fantastic at bum rushing you and instantly stunning you to death. So you're going to notice that we're not quite in the right place. And the load for that is like 2 minutes 40, so you really don't want to die, but it's very easy to do it. Because the feral enemies, those dog creatures, those canine units, whatever you want to call them, I think they're broken. I think they're really broken. And they're broken in a way that just doesn't make them fun when they decide to synchronize. And I have no idea if they realise that that's how they worked or if that's how they're intended to work, because if it is, it just feels a little dishonest to me in the way it works. They should have had some kind of distance attack so that they could actually be threatening from a distance and they don't always have to be up close. Like, some of them have got that ground stomp that they do that releases fire. You know, they charge you, which is, you know, slightly interesting, but for the most, they just get close and perma-stun you, and it doesn't feel good at all. But right here, I immediately open up with Mac doing a lethal attack, and you'll notice it stunned all 3 of the wolves, and then I can just swoop in and kill them. That's another one of those fights that can go really bad really fast if the game wants it to, and I should really have left the footage in of that one, because I died there, and I sat through another brilliant loading screen. Basically, I did the same thing. I pressed Y for Mac to attack, none of the wolves got stunned, they then proceeded to stun lock me and kill me. Because I was shooting them and my gun doesn't do anything because they don't even flinch, and of course you don't have any move to get people off you, so there's not much you can do. And I hate saying that. And I hate saying it for 2 reasons. Firstly, because maybe there was something that you can do, maybe there's a move I never figured out, or there's some kind of ability that I didn't get because it's secret and you have to find it. But at the same time, I hate the idea that a game can put you in a situation that you cannot win. Because I'm the dude who tries to win those stupid situations, even if it takes a few hours and I get a couple of extra grey hairs. I try to win, I always do. You know, it's one of the core tenets of this channel. A lot of people ask me why I do what I do, because I like to do it, you know, I like to prove the CPU wrong, I like to compete. And that does extend to playing online against humans, but unfortunately, there are a lot of people in this world that have way too much time and a lot more dedication than me, so being the best and proving that you can beat them can be a difficult task. Because, you know, some people just get really good at games, get all the high-end equipment and what have you, and you're there with your shitty pistol and they stomp on you with a shotgun. Which should never happen, do you think? I don't think that should happen. Multiplayer should not be about whoever spends the most time gets the best stuff. It should be everything is equally balanced, you know? That's why I love COD 4. COD 4 is a broken game in a lot of ways, but the first 2 weapons you get, the MP5 and the M16, will see you through any situation. It's not like a dude who's 10th prestige is going to beat you because he's got better guns. It doesn't exist in those games. It might exist nowadays when they've introduced those loot guns and those exclusive guns and all that other silly shit that it's evolved into. But back in the COD 4 days, give me an M16, give me an MP5 and I'll beat anybody on this planet. If I can get lucky. And a lot of those games are luck. A lot of people seem to take a lot of pride in it, but you know, a lot of the traffic patterns, a lot of the you run around a corner and someone's got their back to you or their side to you. If that was a different day or a different level, they were looking at you and they were shooting you and you died. And I love those people that take pride in RNG. Like, if you're on a games battles team and it's 2v2 and you do super clutch, like search and destroy defuse after like doing a full sweep or some shit, even though that can't happen because it ends the game, doesn't it? Unless they planted the bomb. I think the bomb still goes off, but if you do something like that, that's skill. You know, there's also a little bit of luck involved, but for the most, you're looking at some skill. But if you just get a 5-man feed on a spawn, you know, with like the double akimbo FMGs or whatever they're called in Modern Warfare 3, that's just another day in that shitfest of a game when a lot of people got unlucky and you got quite fortunate. But it's funny what people take pride in, isn't it? Ooh, here we come with another bunch of canines. I love how he looks, you know, and he's got those crazy looking fur horns of energy, that rippling flares of spikes or whatever they are. And he's changing his affinity too, and we've got Duncan now. You'll notice we went into that other trawler, crawler, whatever they call them, and it enabled us to get Duncan. Duncan is kind of slow, but incredibly powerful. He's good at ground enemies, and he's terrible against flying enemies. He is by far the most powerful core friend you're going to get, so I definitely recommend powering him up, because he can do things that the other guys just can't. And one of the things he's really good at is when he hits the ground, if he gets that RNG and it spreads that flame, it's a stun on almost everything across an area. So he can do damage to things he's not even directly encountering, and it makes him super useful. Like, all of the robots are going to help you, but Duncan's the guy who just does the business. But we've got a minute or two... words. I cannot speak today. Wonderful. Now, we've got a minute or two right now to perhaps talk about other aspects of ReCore while we kill these dudes. You've seen this before. We've killed these people before. I can't pick up their stuff because I'm full again, which is so frustrating. The frustration level in this game is too damn high. It really is. And speaking of frustration, let's talk about respawn, shall we? So, if you die in the overworld, you're looking at a load time that is brutal. It generally puts you close to either a fast travel point or close to the entry point to an area. It doesn't always. Sometimes it can put you in some dumb spots, but the rule of thumb is it's generally not too bad in the overworld. Whenever you see rocks like this with the kind of green jizz on them, you want to use Duncan to smash them. I'm not too sure why they have the green in them. I assume it's just a little bit of colour to go with the green UI and what have you. Keep it colour theory and everything. As I was saying though, overworld deaths, pretty good. When you're in the dungeons, shit gets weird. And this is the part where I'm really questioning who tested the game. And if you've ever listened to any of my other commentaries or used any of my other walkthroughs, by the way, this entire area is full of very high level enemies because it's a large area with a lot to see and do in it. I'm going to circumvent all of this because I'm full in my inventory, so there's no point fighting. Fighting at this point would be redundant because I'm not going to get any rewards except for experience, and I'm not looking to farm and get super strong on this game because you don't need it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to boost jump my way through this desert avoiding people, and then I'm going to hit the fast travel point, dump all my stuff, and then we're going to come back here and do the business. So I don't recommend doing this, by the way. It's quite dangerous. I would recommend you shoot them because you'll just get some natural levels, you'll get some good loot, but of course I can't because of the arbitrary way that the systems coincide. So frustrating, but deal with it kind of thing. So when you're in dungeons, the dungeons seem to prioritise spawns in the most dumb places, and it's the traversal ones where you're going to really question the game testers. And as I was saying before I got interrupted, I question game testers quite a lot because I think it's a job that's very important, but I also think it's a job that can be very powerless. I don't think the games testers are as bad as I'm led to believe. I think developers are just incredibly stubborn at times, and financially it's easier to present no problems than it is to acknowledge they exist. Somebody put an interesting point forward on a comment mentioning, don't you think that they focus on the big problems and have to oversight some of the smaller ones? And I think that that's definitely a part of it, but at the same time, if there is something that is small but niggly that happens perpetually, I would fix that if I was working on a game, because I fervently believe I would have trouble sleeping if I knew of something that's going to irk the players, because if it irks me, it's going to irk somebody else, and that's the one thing that I would want in a game that I designed, to essentially have the core experience be joyful. And sure, there might be frustration at certain aspects of it, but it would always have to be you. You know, how many people do you hear that complain about games because they can't do them? The gut reaction when you lose to something is to be defensive, and because we are egocentric creatures, we like to protect and cushion our egos, so we immediately project rather than look inward. And this is interesting too. If you get Duncan to hit that and then you stand on top of this pipe, you can completely skip having to use Seth to climb it. I thought that was quite funny, but it does look weird. But it should always be the player at fault, not the game, and I would love to alleviate that. But there are moments in traversal dungeons where you can be looped into death because the place they put to respawn is not fit for the job. And it makes no sense because there are literally platforms that would logically work as perfect respawns because they do not move, they never alter, and they're spaced perfectly for good balance. But they don't use them. For whatever reason, they pick these weird places. They even pick places where your companions can stand but there's not actually any collision there, so you can't. And I've got footage of me infinitely falling in a place that the game respawns you at. And what it does is, the game will take a few deaths, and then it'll put you back even further. It's the weirdest thing. It seems to assess you've died too many times on that checkpoint, and then it penalises you by moving you back to the next logical checkpoint. So if you get screwed by the game, and not yourself, you can get taken back twice as far as you should have, because the game prioritised a spawn point which doesn't work. And if you're on a time trial, that can be the difference between passing it and failing it. And don't get me wrong, at the beginning it's your fault because you fell, but everything after that, it's the game's job to put you in the right spot, and they don't. And I'm going to upload a video of me permanently looping death until it puts me back again, and then when I get there and I mess up again, it puts me back into a spot of doom. And previously, you'll see Seth sat on the rock just like, yo dog, it's cool over here, and then I go and stand on it and it doesn't exist. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.